Welcome back to Focus on EDU, EdTech and the Education Experience. I'm your host, Doug Konopelko from CDW Education, and I am thrilled to be back and bringing you some new episodes. So we're going to dive right in with Sari Kitelyn from Full Sail University and talk a little bit about what esports looks like in education and in the world of higher ed, where Sari works. Let's dive in. Sari, take a minute here, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background in education.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. So I have been with Full Sail University for going on 16 years now, and a lot of the work that I have done over the course of my time here has been in just the development of new brand initiatives and activations for the university that work in conjunction with educational programs that we have here. So I've been a part of everything from taking us through our first online programs, our first master's degrees, when we transitioned to a university and full university status, and then as we've grown our program collection since, focusing on real world education here at Full Sail, I like to lucky to be able to find a lot of external initiatives and opportunities that plug directly into our programs for our students.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about the history of esports or what that looks like for Full Sail.
Sure. So Full Sail has had gaming programs for going on 30 years at this point. So gaming has been such a big culture of our community since long before I was here. As you walk through hallways and lobbies and buildings, you see, packed together LAN tournaments happening in lobbies. There's kids that are getting together to play in between classes. You'll find a PC sitting on a bench that somebody brought in just to have some sort of open gameplay in between whatever they have going on with their schedule. So we've always been surrounded by gamers and proudly been surrounded by gamers. And so the foray, I guess, into esports was a natural one, but we honestly followed the students here. Our students had been competing and making their own teams together and kind of competing casually amongst either other universities or within just amateur tournaments since, on their own. And starting in about 2015, 2016, we were able to just kind of recognize what the students really had already been doing and what it looked like the esports industry itself was starting to kind of form and take shape. And we wanted to formalize those efforts and be able to connect the two, provide an opportunity and a pathway for what the students were doing into something a little bit more formal. So we started building our esports program here at the university that just sort of encompassed all of that. And in doing so, the varsity side of competitive esports for colleges really started to take shape, and it was a logical fit for us, and we really wanted to kind of get right in there. We have so many grads that are working on current titles and grads that are employed at publishers, students here that are making their own games, and students here that have dreams of working at all of these major publishers and working in competition. So it was really a natural fit. And that's sort of how we started. We listened to the students, we listened to what they wanted, and we kind of followed what they had already built, put some formality behind it, and then just really wanted to evolve and grow what it was that they were doing.
So when a lot of people think of Full Sail's esports program, right, they think of the Fortress. So maybe tell me a little bit about the Fortress, what that is, and what that means for the university.
Sure. So Full Sail's Orlando Health Fortress is our on-campus esports arena. And it's phenomenal. It's a multi-use facility that just is almost like a black box where you can kind of go and build whatever sort of esports specific events that you want in that space. It's about 11,000 square feet total, which includes a bunch of different areas for production, like front of house work, any sort of learning that anybody needs to do, because the big thing to know is that the Orlando Health Fortress is also a classroom. So students are learning in there every single day, from our show production degree programs, some of our digital arts and design degree programs on how to create graphics and setups for this space, film programs on how to shoot in this space, but we're teaching lighting, we're teaching connectivity, we're teaching everything about live event production from this space. So having it on campus has been super phenomenal. We host a ton of really great clients in this space, and what they'll do is they'll provide real world shadowing opportunities for our students when they're doing an event. So an example is we have Red Bull come down and we hosted quite a few events for them in our space, and they'll bring their full production team. Our students will get to shadow and really work on that production and get that experience in knowing how to bring these events to life, and having great clients that kind of bring that aspect to our students and to our world. Means our students are already 100% prepared as soon as they graduate to be able to bring these events to the surface as far as industry wide. So it's great having it on campus. We've hosted a lot of great events. We have a lot of really awesome clients in there. We also are able to do our own internal things. So our community comes together and we really kind of throw down in all things gaming. One of our favorite formats that we've been doing lately is just kind of this, in conjunction with our Hall of Fame event, but we call it Hall of Game, and it's just, all right, everybody gets to play against our varsity teams. We have multiple games going on. There's also free play areas. There's also, we've done tabletop gaming within the space. We really just like to be able to use it to promote the cultural aspect in general of everything that's kind of happening in gaming and esports, while also giving our students that opportunity to get that hands-on education to be able to work in the space as they graduate, because our venue on campus is really indicative of what you're going to see in the industry. And so our students come automatically prepared because they've worked real events, and it's a phenomenal partnership.
I think what's important for people to recognize who maybe don't know esports as well or aren't as ingrained in the work is that as we're talking about this right now, right, we're talking about culture, we're talking about community, you're talking about production, you're talking about the real world skills. Very little of what we talk about, right, is the actual, the game dev and game design and the playing, right? There's so much more that goes into it that goes beyond just the word game, right? And I think that's what people get hung up on when we're talking about esports and gaming in general, is they just think of the players and the people who create the game itself, when really there's this entire ecosystem outside of that you're able to harness not only through the space, but then also now more recently transitioning into some of those academic programs. So maybe take us through a little bit of what those academic programs look like for you at Full Sail or for your students, and why you chose to go that route with it.
Sure. So you're right in everything that you're saying. I mean, we have a very strong game development program here. We also do game design, game art. We have bachelor's and master's level curriculum, and it's phenomenal how many people are going into the space to create games. And we just are lucky that we're able to kind of offer that breadth to our students to go in that direction. But esports brings an entirely new component to the world of gaming that the development of the games themselves maybe were a little bit not necessarily as connected to, and it is in the world of business. So years ago, we started noticing within our entertainment business programs that about 30% of the final projects, their capstone work that they're doing through their entire curriculum, were based on esports in some capacity. And it really helped elevate us to know that, we, Full Sail, are a school that's focused on entertainment industry itself. All of our degree programs really are honed in on connecting with that. And esports is really an evolution of the entertainment industry. A lot of people look at esports as like a new vertical or something new that hasn't necessarily been around, but we always here like to look at it as an evolution. So our grads themselves have really started going into this space for quite some time, a lot in terms of like team management, marketing, working for live event production, putting any sort of events and activations together, a lot in business and partnerships. And so because of that whole connection that we've always had, we really knew that we wanted to fill something more that helped put some concrete programming and concrete education to the industry itself. So we have had students already up to this point from public relations, journalism. We have our sportscasting program, our Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. A lot of those folks are going into shoutcasting. And in general, knowing that we've seen that evolution, and a lot of that evolution did come from our business programs, we really were excited to put together something that involved a lot of faculty, especially faculty leader Raylyn McCaffrey, who oversees our sports marketing and media bachelor's program. We really were able to take that and our entertainment business curriculum and just evolve something that added in some esports specific business entities that we think could really satisfy a lot of what these students want to go into and a lot of these business aspects that they want to do. So still maintaining and loving that our game students are creating games, we are now able to offer another side of things where people are talking about the business of this industry itself and the business of games as a platform for entertainment, not simply as a solo activation that someone's playing their game in and of themselves. So when we really wanted to go through and build in that direction, that's what we were kind of taking in mind, is where are our grads going into this space and how can we help better prepare them for that? So there's jobs again lined up within publishers. Publishers are running their own esports activations and their esports efforts, and so we're preparing them from that side. There's independent companies, there's production companies that are solely focused on esports. There's the professional team aspect. There's youth esports, and all of them have a general business side to what it is that they're doing. A lot of folks have a strong interest in esports and a strong interest in gaming, and that's awesome. And what we do here at Full Sail is we want to make sure that your interests are aligned with the skills that you're developing and what it is that you need so that you can actually work in the space. Because loving gaming and loving esports might not necessarily be enough to get you a job in esports, but it's a wonderful place to start. And being able to support that with education from all of these different aspects with our focuses in the business side of things can help put those two things together and really prepare somebody for the right career in this space.
So within this new program, it sounds like the heart of it is still business, right? Business administration, and it just has this sort of little flavor to it, right? This esports flavor. So how much of that curriculum actually like focuses around esports versus what's still focused on business, would you say?
I'd say it's a really good blend of both. That I think they're both equally kind of coming to the table to put that full cohesive curriculum together. We are lucky that we're able to have a business degree program and marketing degree programs that are already focused on the entertainment industry. And so being able to loop in what the esports industry is looking like is really the two are kind of meeting in the middle to sort of help bring the curriculum to life. With us and the way our curriculum is structured, we're lucky enough that we have our classes are on a monthly rotation. So as the industry itself continues to grow and continues to evolve, we're able to adjust curriculum in real time so that it satisfies what's going on and how these growth evolutions are happening within the esports industry. So that's going to be a really exciting place to be as well, is, formalities and trends and things start taking shape as things are growing and moving, and we're able to grow and shift and move along with it. And that's honestly the part that I'm the most excited for. Just being able to watch everything grow, not just watch everything grow, but grow alongside with it.
Great. Sari, thank you so much for your time today. It was great to be able to talk a little bit about esports and what that means at your school.
Thanks for having me. And you got to come check out an event sometime. Come to the Orlando Health Fortress. We would love to have you.
Sounds great. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be notified whenever we post new content. Looking forward to seeing you next time.